Welcome back to the Ride Podcast. This episode is a bonus episode with Bud Lyon as he breaks down an audio lesson. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about a horse that tends to be stiff in the face and what we do to kind of improve on that. Horses are just like people. They're all individuals and unique to some degree. And so you have some horses that have a lot of natural feel and sensitivity in their mouth, and collection is easy, and it's not difficult to achieve and maintain. And then you have other horses, maybe one like this that is just tends to be a little bit more stiff, tends to not to respond to pressure as much as a more sensitive horse. So when we're dealing with a horse like this, we have a couple different exercises that we like to use to kind of improve on that. And really there's no magic answer to what to do for a horse that wants to be stiff in the face. It's just consistent and persistent repetition and training. But I will show you a few things that work well for me in my program. And one of the things we're going to start with is just your lateral flexion. This horse, I feel like if I just pick my hand up, I don't get her to volunteer very much, meaning, I'm pulling, I'm applying pressure, I'm bumping a little bit right here, and she really doesn't care. She just is content to kind of lean on that bit and pull down on my hand more than she is to give me that flexion at the pole, okay? So what I do a lot, and my philosophy is, if we can get a horse soft left and right, and we can get that lateral flexion, then we have a lot better chance of getting that suppleness when we go to pick our hand straight up vertically. So we're just going to stand here for a minute. We're just going to kind of pull this mare's head left and right a little bit. Okay, when I pull, I'm pulling right back here towards my hip, and when I release, I want her to kind of hold it over there on her own a little bit. Okay, so I don't want her to try to take it away from me or pull it away from me when I turn it loose. She's holding it over there pretty nice right now, so now I'm going to go ahead and pull this right rein, this direct rein. I'm pulling right back towards my hip, and even though she's kind of giving it to me, you can tell that when I first go to ask for it, there's some resistance in there, and she's not volunteering, very much when I ask for it. She acts like she's about half asleep up here, but what I'm going to do is basically just try to get her soft left and right. I feel like if I can get one soft, and supple left and right, and they're not pulling against my hand, they're not resisting me, then I have a lot better chance of getting that collection and getting that flexion at the pole when I ask for it. So what I'm going to do right now is I feel like that she gives it to me, and when she gets her nose over there, it feels pretty good and soft, but it's that transition period, that period when she's got her head straight, where I feel some resistance in my hands. She's not really trying very hard to be soft and respond to that bit, respond to that pressure that the reins are putting on that shank of that bit from my hands. So we're just going to sit here and we're just going to pull back left and right a little bit, okay? We're just going to get that neck a little soft. Right here, I feel some resistance, so I'm going to kind of wiggle my hand a little bit, okay? I'm going to keep these hands active. I'm never going to try to out-pull a horse like this, because chances are she's a heck of a lot stronger than I am, and, I'm not going to win that game. So I'm just going to use leverage to my advantage, and I'm going to use the things that I have, the tools at my disposal to my advantage, and I'm going to keep those hands active, meaning I'm not going to do just a dead heavy pull. I'm going to kind of wiggle this hand, bump a little bit if I need to, try to kind of rattle that mouthpiece in that bit and inside her mouth a little bit, and it seems to be working so far, because now we're starting to get that desired response a little bit. She feels like she's a lot softer in that transition phase where she's going from left to right and vice versa. So I'm just going to kind of keep doing this a little bit, okay? And as she keeps bending that neck and giving it to me, I'm going to keep those hands active, okay? And when it feels good, then I'm going to go back and put her in one hand, okay, and see if I've got any improvement. Go ahead and pick my hand up. I've got a little bit of improvement right there. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's not perfect. Certainly, I'd like to see more than that, but at least now she's not pulling on my hands quite as much as she was before. Now, if I just turned her loose and quit there, I'd probably never get any more than that. But I think what we're going to do now is we're going to show you a different exercise after I've done sort of this lateral flexion. Sometimes what I like to do is just kind of walk around. And I'm gonna gather this horse up, ask for some collection. I've got a little bit of contact with my legs here, so I'm squeezing a little bit with these legs. I'm driving her body towards her face a little bit, okay? And she actually doesn't feel too bad right here compared to what she was earlier. But I'm gonna use my legs to shove her forward, okay? Keep her soft in that bridle. If she tries to come out of that bridle by pulling down on my hand or pushing her nose outward away from it, then I'm just kind of lightly bump, keep her soft in my hand as much as possible, but I'm still squeezing with those legs, making her go forward. I want her to kind of lift her back and give me that release, and when she does, I'm going to relax my hand a little bit. Okay, and then I pick up, and I really like the way that feels. So even though it's not perfect, okay, I'm gaining in a very short amount of time, and that's a good sign. So again, this exercise is really as much about leg pressure as anything, okay? So some horses respond better if you use your legs and their belly and their rib cage to get them soft than if you actually just try to pull on their face with your hands, okay? So she feels like she might be one of those kind of horses. It doesn't mean that I can't work on her face as well and I can't soften her jaw a little bit. You know, we're not punishing her for anything. We're making this, correction, and we're trying to make it educational, not intimidational. But we're gonna go ahead and we'll keep working on it a little bit, okay? And then I'm actually gonna even break into the trot a little bit right here. And again, I'm still kind of squeezing with these legs, and I'm just creating some forward motion here, some propulsion, if you will. I'm gonna actually go to two hands here, and I'm gonna slide my hand down these reins, okay? I'm gonna gather that mare up a little bit, okay? I'm gonna keep my feet pressing, my legs wrapped around her, we're driving forward. When I feel her free up and be soft in the face and not try to be sticky, then I'm going to relax my hand. Now, an interesting byproduct of this exercise is that sometimes it makes them break over not just at the pole, but at the withers. And that's okay. If she's comfortable down there, I'm going to let her be down there a little bit. That style is very popular in the reining right now. You see that with a lot of reining horses. I'm not forcing her to go down there. I'm just allowing her to be there if she wants to be. Okay, if that's where she's happy and content, I'm gonna let her go down there. If she didn't want to be down there, that's fine with me too. I'm more concerned about what happens with collection and how soft she is. Okay, but again, right here, she's kind of pulling on me a little bit. I can kind of feel her testing my hand a little bit, wanting to pull down a little bit. So I go to my legs a little bit more right here, and I'm just squeezing and pressing with my legs, driving her forward, trying to get her to lift that back and round up and get soft. And as soon as I feel what I'm looking for, I'm going to go ahead and slowly relax, okay? This is the release point, okay? So again, I'm not really forcing her to go down there. I don't care if her head comes back up. It's not going to bother me. What I'm really after right here, okay, is that initial contact and what happens with her chin and her softness and her flexion at the pole, okay? If that feels good to me, then I'm happy, regardless of where her headset is, okay? Right there, feels pretty good. Go back the other direction, just steer her back around here a minute. Okay, I'm gonna lift up on her. Okay, right now, see, I feel some struggle in there a little bit, okay? So right now, she's kind of fighting against me right now. Excuse me, she's fighting against me. We lost our forward motion there a little bit, okay? Now, there we get it back, okay? And I'm gonna relax and let her know this is a good place to be right here. If you wanna be down there, I'm gonna let you be down there, but most importantly, I want you to stay soft. And when I pick my hand up, I want you to give me that face, break over at the pole. You can break over the withers if you want to. That's not my main concern here. I'm really just concerned about collection and softness, suppleness. Feels like we're gaining on her. We've picked my hand up, and again, she gives me that chin right away. I like that, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn her loose. Okay. Whoa. Now I'm just gonna stop right here. And look there, I pick my hand up just a little bit and I get that desired response. Ideally, when I'm in the show pen, our benchmark is the saddle horn, and we if we're going to use our hand, we really don't want to have to pick up any more than the saddle horn. Now, sometimes that's not realistic and we'll end up doing it anyways, and that's fine. But if I can just pick my hand up 1 or 2 inches and have her give me that desired response, then I'm pretty happy. But you can see sometimes, she just wants to kind of get down there and she almost wants to hide from me a little bit. What I mean by that is she's got her head down, but she's not truly being soft, because as I pick my hand up and continue to apply pressure, she's really just pulling down against me, and she's just hoping that I won't care as long as she just tries to put her head down lower. That's not really what I'm looking for though. So I'm gonna drive her forward here a little bit. I'm gonna make her unlock because I can feel her wanting to sort of lock up on me. And as soon as she does, I'm gonna turn her loose, okay? So we've got a couple different things going on there that's contributing to this stiffness in the face. And some of it is just our lack of body control, or the fact that she's trying to figure a way out of this scenario. She's trying to outthink me a little bit, and she's just hoping that I'll just leave her alone. Okay, but really what I want her to stay soft no matter what I'm doing. So like right here, I'd like to go forward, and I can't get her to untrack and go forward and stay bridled up. That's going to be a problem for me later on. It doesn't matter if I'm doing the reining or the ranch riding or the rein cow horse. Okay, I need to be able to have collection and forward motion at the same time. So I'm going to stop right here. When I ask for her face, she gives me that pretty good. I'll give her that release and that reward. I'll even pet on her a little bit, okay, because that was much better than where we started. But now I'm going to ask for just a little bit more and see what I get. Okay, and I'm squeezing with my legs right here. Okay, it's a little bit of improvement, but I can still feel her just kind of wanting to lock up there. Okay, now I want her to go forward and stay in this position right here. Okay, and I'm having trouble getting this horse to do this, so I should be able to keep my hand up and have her go forward. Right now she doesn't want to do that. Okay, when she finally does and she stays soft in the face at the same time, then I'm going to give her that release, give her that reward, let her know that this is the good spot to be. As soon as you try harder, I'm going to give you that release. Okay, right there, felt pretty good to me. I'll stop and try it from the standstill again. Hand comes up, get a very desirable response right there. Okay, but now I'm going to squeeze her and try to get her to walk forward in a straight line. Okay, now we're starting to make some progress here. Okay, so just to go back and kind of recap, we're going to start by making sure we've got lateral flexion left and right. Okay, then we're going to work on this horse's collection with forward motion a little bit. Okay, if we need to use 2 hands and kind of help ourselves out a little bit, that's okay. But really what we're doing is we're using these legs to apply pressure to the belly, okay, and the rib cage of this horse, and make her round her back and get soft that way. And you'll find that some horses actually respond a lot better to that versus just trying to continually work on that lower jaw or work on that face with your hands and not using any legs at all. So I was always taught that dead hands and dead feet make a dead horse. And that's kind of, been something that we've continued to use as a training philosophy. We want to make sure our hands are active, our legs are active. We're not just using one or the other most of the time. And we want to make sure that we can get this horse to give that face, be collected at the walk, the trot, the lope. So I'm going to try it one more time. We'll stop. I'll pick this hand up just ever so slightly. Didn't get as much as I wanted there. Gives me a little bit more. I'm using a little bit of pressure with these legs when I do that. Okay. When I feel her relax and release, then I'll release. Pick my hand up a little bit that time. I like what I get. Now I'm going to ask her to go forward. Again, we have a little bit of a lag in there. Okay. She kind of stalls out and doesn't want to walk forward and drive her body up into her face as much as I would like her to. Okay. But this is all helpful so far because we've come a long way in a short period of time. There, I got my collection and my softness and my forward motion all at once. So I'm going to use that as an opportunity to quit right there, give her a little pet, and then we'll go on to the next thing.
Thank you guys for tuning into this special episode of The Ride Podcast. Stay tuned as we release regular episodes of The Ride. Please let us know how you like this audio lesson by emailing us at horseandrider@aimmedia.com.